I just wanted to share about a book that I'm listening to at the moment. If you may have heard of Course in Miracles, which it can be quite a difficult read to do, like front to back. And then actually doing the course, there's a beautiful app. There's loads of apps that you can get for free that just sort of remind you every day, like slowly. It's almost like a breaking down of reality, like, this is not my hand, this is not my pillow, this is not my room. It's kind of like, I can see now, actually, now that I'm saying it, the difference between my understanding of what it's teaching now compared to what it was, because I can see now how it's removing the ownership from the ego, from the identity. Because there was another term that I thought of before. You know how people say, oh, I just feel like I wasn't in my body? And it's so funny, like, who wasn't in their body? And if you weren't in your body, well, how can you be your body? How are you your body? And how are you controlling your body if you're not in your body? And all of these things is very interesting, because if you've ever had that experience where you kind of feel a little bit like, oh, it's like the driving thing that I mentioned. It's just happening. Anyway, so while I was listening to this book, I had this thought of what reality is, because I just spoke to a friend and I said to her, what is reality to you? And I guess this is kind of like at the moment, like a huge question for a lot of people if you're a seeker. And I've had many versions of what reality is come through to me over this path. And it's like I'm at the point now where I had this realization, or this new view, whatever you want to call it, where reality is like playing out. So instead of the world being, because I've had the belief or the view that the world was sort of a projection from my mind, right? Like, so it's just projecting out, and whatever I'm doing and thinking and feeling is creating what I'm seeing. But then today I had a much different feeling, and it was that the world is occurring. So reality is occurring all around me as it is. And I am just viewing it occurring through the perspective of Jody. And so it's not so much that I am Jody, or that I'm controlling what's happening in Jody's life. It's more that I am experiencing this reality through her. So through her angle. And if you can sort of see this, I'm trying to think about how I would explain it. And so everyone is the one consciousness as far as this explanation goes. However, we're split up into kind of like viewing screens. And so you know how like sometimes when you're watching a movie or whatever, it might be a scene and then you're seeing it from this angle and then you're seeing it from this angle and it jumps and zooms in and whatever. It's almost like that. And so like this is the screen of Jody. And so it's her angle that's being projected to from the awareness, that it's her angle of this happening, occurring from her perspective. And so it's unfolding before me. It's all just unfolding. So if you think about even how you came to watch this video, did you sit down and think about what you were going to do? Or were you led here? And it's very interesting to then expand on that. Or once a day, set an alarm to go off. And then at that moment when that alarm goes off, think, how did I get to where I am? Or whatever you're doing at that moment, what led you to that? And the reason why I say this is because it's all just happening. And so when we are trying to own it, and it's almost like, for me, I've had the angle of like the control. I want to control everything, but if I didn't want to control everything, it wouldn't lead me to the fact that I can see that I'm not controlling anything. But it's a very interesting view to see it like this for me. And so I wanted to share it because see if you can sit and sort of allow yourself to see and know and comprehend, or I don't know, just feel that these things in life are happening. They're just happening. And it is the thought that we think it's happening. But we're just performing through life. And it's like, until something shakes us to wake up out of it, like the spiritual awakening, you're sort of just doing what you're told, aren't you? Which is just what we're doing. Just doing what we're told. But what's telling us to do it? Anyway, I don't have like the concrete answers, and I don't think anyone ever will. I just wanted to share sort of the experience that I had from this experience. And yeah, just see if you've ever felt like this. And also highly recommend this book, A Course in Love. And it's channeled through somebody as Jesus, I think, through someone, but don't let that turn you off. Yeah, it's very, I'm only on like chapter 8, so it's very expansive. And yeah, I'd love to know your version of reality if you wanted to share too. I'm actually quite interested to do, like, I don't know, Zooms or chat with people about their version of what they believe, think and feel, because it's very interesting. And I think it's expanding. It's very, there's no one way. And so it's like, it's really interesting. It's almost like we all have these keys to unlock within each other. That's what I feel. Because we're all like, because we're viewing it through this perception to get the knowledge that can only be obtained through this experience as Jody. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah.